Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the By Him For Him podcast. So glad you're back for episode 2. I'm also very excited to be back for episode 2. And if you guys listened to the first episode, I said that if there was an episode released the following week, it would be because I stayed up all night working on it. That was not the case, thankfully. I don't like pulling those all-nighters. Had to do them a few times for school, and I hope I never have to do them again. At least after I graduate. But we are back the next day because plans changed. We didn't end up traveling. Sickness happened, as it tends to in this time of year, which sucks, but it is kind of nice because I get to do this podcast, and it will be releasing, what's the date that it will be releasing? The following Monday after the first episode, which is December 30th. Then it's December 31st, then it's January 1st. I'm not going to do it. It should be January 5th maybe, but it should be the week after the first episode. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. Today we're going to be talking about gymtimidation. It's a term I think I made up. At least it came from my own brain. I've never heard it before, but I thought it kind of fit what I was going to try to be talking about today because, especially with the new year, a lot of people make goals about going to the gym and staying fit, just fitness goals in general, maybe health goals, but it can be intimidating. Like, it's this big, scary building, and with like dark lighting and weights slamming around, and everyone seems like they know what they're doing, and you're just so lost. So that's what this episode is about: gymtimidation, how to start working out, things you need to know about it. Hopefully it's helpful, even if you are someone who's been in the gym for maybe a little bit. Who knows, maybe there's still something you could learn. So I'm praying and hoping that will be the case, and I hope you guys enjoy. Grab a notebook, something to take notes with, unless you have a good memory, unlike me, and you're able to take mental notes. But I don't know, you can always come back and listen to it later if you need. Grab yourself a fun drink, sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy. So, like I said, gymtimidation, it can be scary whenever you start something new, but I think especially with all the content we see from these fitness influencers, it seems like it can be so complicated. But I'm going to break it down and tell you why it's not complicated, tell you the important things you actually need to know if you want to see progress and results and reach your goals, and how to do that. So, first thing I want to talk about is knowing your why for working out. So, knowing your why, I want to start with this because it is the most important part, I feel like. Because if you don't have a sustainable reason for going to the gym and for working out and for staying in shape, then you're not going to have sustainable results. You have to have a good reason, and not just a good reason, but a reason that you know what it is. So I'll give you some examples of what is not a good reason to start working out. Do not start going to the gym and trying to change yourself, your body, for anybody else because you want to please other people. Maybe it's a guy, maybe it's you want to fit in with a certain group, or you just want to look better. Like, it's okay to want to look better. I'm going to talk about training for aesthetics in a couple minutes. That's definitely something that I feel like is important to touch on. But do not start training to please others or to try to get certain friends. First of all, even if it does get you those friends, it won't get you those friends for the right reason. It won't get you the boyfriend for the right reason. Let me tell you this. If you try to get a banging body so that a guy will like you, he might like you because of your body. But is that what you really want him to like you for? Because I can assure you that that is not fulfilling. It hurts. And it's just not fun. So don't do it for that reason. And yeah, like I said, you're going to want a sustainable reason if you want sustainable results. So an example of a sustainable reason would be because you want to have a healthier body and feel better and be able to still go on hikes maybe after you retire. Something like that. That's a sustainable reason. I very much admire my mom because it's so cute. Every morning during the weekdays, she gets up 7:30 a.m. and she goes to her little workout classes, and everyone in that class, I've been to her class a couple times, and I can tell you guys for a fact that those classes are not easy. I don't know how everyone there is just older people, but I think it's so awesome that she does that and that all the people in that class are older, because maybe they don't fully know how to build themselves a workout plan, so they sign up to go to that class. And their reason for going, I'm guessing, I know my mom's, is because she wants to be able to sit on the floor and play with her grandkids. She doesn't want to be in pain. And weightlifting especially is so good for you. It's so sustainable. And just building muscle helps you. Oh, what's the stats I heard? It was something about, I think, being like 40% less likely to have diabetes if you weightlift and put on muscle, or maybe it was arthritis, some kind of thing that you get when you're older. I don't fully remember, but there are benefits and it's important. So it's great. That's a great reason for going to the gym, for starting to work out. You also have to do it in a sustainable way, and I will again talk more about that in a few minutes. But yeah, so know your why and make sure it's a sustainable why. Something that won't burn you out after doing for a long time because you're trying to achieve this certain mentality. You're trying to get certain people to like you, and you're trying to get certain people to view you a certain way. Because that will never make you feel fulfilled. You might get there, they might start thinking that of you, but you're gonna start hating yourself if that's your reason why. Do it out of a place of gratitude for what your body is able to do, and that God has blessed you with another day, more breath in your lungs, and a body that can move and can lift weights and can run, all the things. That is a great mentality to have when starting to work out, but that's something you need to get figured out, probably I would say before you step foot in the gym. Along that track, I want to touch on training for aesthetics. Is training for aesthetics okay? I would say, straight, blank-faced, I don't know how that saying goes, yes, it is okay to train for aesthetics as long as you don't get carried away with it, because I think it's okay to train for aesthetics, and I get it, like some people are in those bodybuilding competitions and stuff. I'm not in a competition, and I never plan on being in one. But I'm still training for aesthetics, and I think that's okay. But that's not all I'm training for. I still have other goals. I want to be able to do a muscle up. I want to be able to do, these cool, I don't know, pull out a cool party trick or something, show off my muscles, you know what I mean? But I also want, I don't know, big biceps, and I think that's okay to want to achieve a certain body type and to train for that and to work towards that and to have that as a goal. But like I said, as long as you don't obsess over it and you don't let that control your life, because as soon as working out and what you eat starts controlling your life and making you less happy with the way you live, I think that's when it shows that it's kind of out of control, I guess I would say. You should be able to keep the gym and everything related to the gym in one section of your life and not have that really interfere with other parts, because it is really a balance, and it's a super careful balance because you really don't want it to tip one way or the other, because it can get kind of dangerous. You don't want to fall into an eating disorder because you're scared that if you eat a donut you're not going to have abs anymore. That's a little bit obsessive. That's not very healthy. But I do think in general, yes, it's okay to have aesthetics-based goals, if that makes any sense. If you have any more questions on that, then you could reach out, send me a DM on Instagram or something, and I could give you a more detailed answer depending on what your question is, but that's just what I would say as my basic answer. I think it's okay, just don't let it control your life and make you miserable, because that is easy for that to happen, even if that's not what you're planning on happening in the beginning, if that makes any sense. The next thing I want to say is to stick to your word, stick to a plan, stay consistent, and also understand that it doesn't happen overnight. So in the last episode, I talked about how to not fail your New Year's resolutions, and I talked about setting a plan for your New Year's goals, and I also talked about why motivation kills, what is it? Why motivation kills your New Year's resolutions. I think that's another thing I talked about in the episode. And it's true. But consistency it's not the opposite of motivation, but it's the better aspect of motivation, because you are going to be motivated some days, not motivated other days. Despite your level of motivation, you need to be consistent, and that's how you're going to see results. So like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. I have been, I know I already said this, but I've been in and out of the gym for 2 years, and I still can't lift over like 25 pounds on most exercises, arm workouts. Legs is a different story. Love my leg workouts, but I still am like humbled every time I have to pick up those dumbbells and be like, wow, I'm still at 15 pounds. I'm still at 20 pounds, depends on the exercise. And so don't beat yourself up if it doesn't happen overnight. If you don't see the results you want to see next week or next month or even in a few months. You will see progress over time. I promise you that. And also, I think it's important to document your progress that you're making. Maybe take progress pictures or journal about how you're feeling, the weights you're able to lift, all those kinds of things, because then you see your body every day. You look in the mirror every single day, multiple times a day, I'm guessing, if you're like me. And so it's harder for you to see progress because it happens slowly over time and you're witnessing every single tiny little step of it. But if you look at a picture you took 6 months ago versus a picture you took today, you'll see, wow, I can see the progress. So yes, take note of your progress, and really be patient and keep working at it, and don't get discouraged if you don't see the results you want to see overnight, or you can't lift those weights that you were expecting you'd be able to lift after just a few weeks or a few months, because it takes time to build up to that. And honestly, I think that's why it's so admirable, I guess I would say, because you are the one who earns you the ability to lift those weights. It's not something that happens because of luck. So when you're able to lift those weights, it's rewarding because you know that you worked for that, if you know what I mean. So that's what I would say. Be patient and don't give up right away. Give yourself time, and also don't look at it in the big picture. Just work at it in little tiny baby steps, because that's the best way to get things done, is just look one step ahead. And once you get to that one step ahead, look to the next step ahead and just keep doing that. That's what I honestly do whenever I'm in the gym. When I'm in the Stairmaster, I hate the Stairmaster. I get so sweaty and disgusting, and I'm always like, okay, how many more minutes do I have till I have to get off? But I always think of it in 5-minute increments, and then I get to the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I just got to get to the next 5 minutes. And then after that, I'm like, okay, just got to get to 15 minutes. And then once I get to 15 minutes, then I'm halfway there, right? And once I'm halfway there, I just got to get to 20. And when I'm at 20, I'm 2/3 of the way there. Then I just got to get to 25. And when I'm 25 minutes in out of my 30 minutes, then I'm 5/6 of the way there. It's just 5 more minutes. How hard can it be? Just keep looking at the little baby steps. Because you probably will get discouraged if you look at the big picture and you're staring at your huge goals dead in the face, because those will intimidate you. So that's what I would say about that. And next, I want to talk about what the Bible says about physical training and vanity. So the first passage we're going to look at is Ecclesiastes 2:10-11. Okay, so it says this, Ecclesiastes 2:10 is it 10-11? Yeah, 10-11. And whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I kept my heart from no pleasure, for my heart found pleasure in all my toil, and this was my reward for all my toil. Then I reconsidered all that my hands had done, and the toil I had expended in doing it, and behold, all was vanity and striving after the wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun. Word. That's such a bar right there. I think that's so good. So that's Solomon talking about how vanity gets you absolutely nowhere, and striving after meaningless and empty things are just going to leave you feeling, surprise, surprise, empty. You're not going to feel fulfilled. So when it comes to the gym, because this whole podcast episode, this whole topic is about the gym, I feel like this can apply to a lot of other things, and this podcast is going to be so much more than just talking about fitness in the gym, but that is one of my passions, as I said, and so that's what we're going to be talking about right now. But if you're striving after a certain body type or a certain goal, thinking that once you get there you're going to feel fulfilled, you're not, because as it says in the next passage I'm going to read, it's going to talk about it too, but those things are like the wind. they're here and then they're gone. They're gone to the next place and they don't even matter anymore. And in the line of eternity, it's completely meaningless. Honestly, your body is completely meaningless. And yes, our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, so that's why we should take care of it. And also, it can be fun. And it could be a good way to pass time, a good hobby, because it's good for you, and it feels good, and it's fun, and something to be into, and relate to others on. And there's so many reasons why. It's just a great thing, right? But in the prospect of, is prospect the right word? I don't even know what prospect means. Sometimes I do that. I just say words and I don't even know what they mean. But in line of eternity, as I said, when you're in heaven, face to face with Jesus, standing at the foot of his throne, he's not going to be like, how much could you curl? How much could you deadlift? How much could you squat? That's not going to matter. When you're in heaven, you're never going to think about that again. And the type of body shape you have, the six-pack you have, is not going to matter. And that might be something that's considered important or cool on this earth, and it's okay to have that or to train for that. But ultimately, make sure that what you keep number one is your relationship with God and the things that are most important to you. Which leads us to our next passage, which is 1 Timothy 4:8. Let's see here. Ephesians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy. Here we go. So it's 1 Timothy 4:8. It says, "For while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come." So just like I said, when you prioritize your relationship with God and your walk with the Lord, godliness holds so much more value because it actually matters in the life to come, which is like, I can't even wrap my head around the concept of eternity because we're temporary people. These bodies are temporary and we only get like 80 years. So to think that we have eternity ahead of us is crazy. That's a topic for another time. But that's, as it says, it holds the promise for the present life and also for the life to come. So yeah, just really make sure that your heart is in the right place and that your mind is in the right place, and also that your priorities are in the right place, because it says bodily training is of some value. It's good. We're supposed to take good care of our body because it's the temple of the Holy Spirit, as I said, but keep in mind what is the most important thing, and don't let your training get in the way of that, because that's what matters most, and it can really mess up your life if you let that get in the way of the more important things. So yeah, just be careful of that. Now we get to move on to, I don't want to say my tips and tricks, but kind of like the breakdown of what you need to know the moment you step foot in the gym. So don't overcomplicate it, honestly, because you see all these influencers and they make it look so complicated. That's kind of what I talked about in the intro. And it's really not that complicated. There's only a few things you need to know. And from there, you can kind of break it apart to fit yourself personally. Because everyone's training schedule is different. The way they need to train their body, the way they need to fuel their body, it's all different. And that's something that you can kind of break down for yourself once you get to know kind of how it works. But it's not that complicated. I think that seeing all these fitness influencers post about supplements and macros and intense training can be so confusing, but I have strong opinions about this. You are not a robot. You are not meant to function like a robot, and I really don't think that tracking your food, weighing it out to get like it down to the exact calorie is healthy, because you need different amounts of energy on different days. Days that you move more, days that you move less, days that you're recovering from a sickness, days that you're out and about, like all these things. It's going to change on a day-to-day basis, and you are not a robot. And there's no way to measure the amount of energy you need every single day exactly. And so I think by tracking your food and treating yourself like a robot with your training and treating it like a religion to where it needs to be, exact and specific, no matter, everything that you do needs to be exact and specific. That takes all the fun out of it. And that's not how we're meant to function. We are meant to find joy in these things, and by treating ourselves like robots, it takes all of it out. So don't do that, and I just wanted to put that in there real quick. So when it comes to supplements, it really does depend. You don't need supplements though. And something I want to say is that the fitness industry is a big way for all these brands and companies to make money. And so they're trying to sell you this product and this product and this supplement and this protein powder and this workout set. And your workout's going to be 10 times better if you just take this electrolyte and all this stuff. But your body already is equipped with all the, I don't even know, energy it needs for the most part to accomplish that workout. You know, you don't need 10 different kinds of supplements to be able to function. You don't need your greens and your creatine and your protein powder and your all this stuff. And those, I think those can be healthy and those can be good things, good additions, but don't let it consume you, and don't go ahead and think that you won't be able to have a good workout without those, because I just got my first thing of protein powder. I have never had protein powder before this. I just got it for Christmas, and I'm excited to try all the fun recipes and stuff, and I think it can be good because, I don't know, it seems like a lot, but apparently you're supposed to have about 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, which seems like a lot. Sorry, I keep burping. I just ate dinner. Again, Aubrey, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry. You're getting the ick so bad. I just know it. Anyways, and that's a lot of protein to hit. So I think protein powders can be a good addition. Creatine, your body naturally already makes it. It's already in, like, I think fish and stuff. It's not dangerous, but getting wrapped up in the supplement game and stuff can lead you down a different path, because you don't want to get into all of those things that are ultimately going to end up messing up your hormones and stuff. So I think if you want to play it safe, it's best to just stick to whole foods, and just eat your protein that comes from eggs and meat and nuts and all of those kinds of things. It's always going to be better for you than anything man-made, because that's what God created us to literally eat. So obviously that's the best thing we can eat. So that's what I have to say about that. I don't think it's necessarily bad in and of itself. Just be careful how much you're buying into all of that stuff, and make sure that you realize that it really is just a way that they are trying to make money. They're trying to make money off of you. And so it's okay if you don't have the fanciest workout set, or you don't take protein powders, or you don't take creatine, or you don't take those greens, because I promise you, you're going to be just fine with all that. I started taking creatine a few months ago, and I actually didn't like the results, which is kind of wild to me, because I researched it super well. It doesn't harm your body in any way, and it says that it is really good for muscle recovery and for building muscle, and I'm sure it can be, but I found that I held on to a lot of water, and so I just felt really bloated all the time. But it probably depends person to person. So that's one of those things that might just want to try it and see how you feel, see how you like it. But also it can add up in cost, so that's kind of why I'm trying to stay out of that realm of supplements, because I really don't think there is that big of impact that your daily greens powder does for you. I'd rather just eat my greens, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I'd say about supplements. Next, I want to talk about finding a schedule that works best for you, that you can be consistent with. So something that I find works best for me is at the beginning of each week, maybe like Sunday or Monday, I will kind of look at my schedule, see what I have going on that week. If I'm going to be out of town, or if I'm going to be gone for all day doing something, or I'm going to be out with friends most of this day, and just kind of adjust my working out schedule around my schedule that I already had in place. Now, you'll notice that I said I adjust my working out schedule around my schedule that I already have. I don't schedule everything else around that, because I think that time with friends and time with family and the things that I enjoy are more important, so I'm not willing to change my whole life to fit around when I go to the gym. But when I'm home, when I have extra time, I like to make sure that I get my basic days in. And something that is important for you to know if you're a beginner is to break down the different muscle groups. So the main ones are push, pull, legs. push, pull, legs. Now you might be wondering, you might have heard those terms before and wondered what they meant. Obviously, legs is pretty obvious. It's your leg muscles. But why is it important to break down your training days into different muscle groups? Well, the short answer is that your body needs time to recover in between your different workouts. And so by doing that, if I hit push day one day, and then I do legs the next day, and then I do abs the next day, and then I do pull day, and then I do push day again, the muscles that I worked on push day the first time will already be recovered from that first time. And that's the best way to do it, to have ultimate muscle growth and just feel your best and take care of yourself the best way you can. So like I said, push, pull, legs, those are the main muscle groups. Also, that's if you want to hit the gym 3 times a week. I like to go at least like 4 to 5 times a week, so on weekdays, I guess, or whenever I can, whenever I have free time. But I do have push, pull, legs, and then I also have abs and glutes as my, I guess, bonus days. So if you're only able to make it into the gym 3 times a week, hey, that's a great start. That's just great. If that's all you're able to do, that's awesome. And you're still totally able to achieve whatever goals you have, even if it's just those 3 days that you can make it into the gym. But if you want to hit 5, then I would recommend throwing in like abs and glutes, or maybe you could do push, pull, legs if you want to do 6 times a week. So you can kind of just adjust that to whatever fits your schedule, whatever your goals are, whatever muscles you're wanting to grow the most. So right now for me, I'm wanting to up my pull-up game. So that's a pull day, obviously. Pull up, literally, it's in the name. And so I don't have multiple pull days a week, but I do pull-ups throughout the day, like every single day, because we have a pull-up bar in our house. So that's just kind of what I would say about that. And as far as what push and pull mean, if you're like a very new beginner or you've just never really understood what that meant, it targets the different muscles. So push, it's the muscles that you target when you're pushing something, an object. Pull, obviously, the muscles you activate when you're pulling something. So for push day, it's your shoulders, triceps, and chest. And then for pull day, it's your back and your biceps. So let me think of some examples. Obviously, for pull day, pull-ups are great. And then any bicep exercise, any back exercise. So I like to do rows. Those are great for your back and biceps. And I like to do bicep curls, obviously. And then for push day, push-ups are a great thing. I like to do front raises with like a plate. I do lat raises. I do the dumbbell flies. If you want more details on my workout plan, you can go to my workout Instagram. It seems like I have so many Instagrams because I do. I think I have like 4 accounts. It's not even funny, but I don't post on all of them all the time. But my workout Instagram, it's Gracie Lifts with a Z. So it's GracieLiftz. That's my workout Instagram, and you could find more details about my workout plan and the exercises I do for those different days if you're curious and you just need like some ideas. So that's what I would say. It's super helpful for that. And also the reason why push and pull are like in their own separate things, because for pull exercises, whenever you're doing an exercise that targets your biceps, your back muscles are automatically already going to be targeted, and vice versa. When you are using your back for something, your biceps are mostly going to be engaged as well. And then same goes for push. It just happens to be how our bodies work. The muscles that are activated like at the same time when you do a motion, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So that's kind of how I would say you should split up your weekly training if you don't already have that down or you're still trying to figure out how that's going to work. I would highly recommend doing push-pull legs and then maybe throwing in abs and glutes if you want to hit 2 different things, or you could do push-pull legs twice a week. I know some people who do that. But just find a training plan that works well for you and for your schedule, and ultimately, like I said, being consistent is going to be your best friend when you're trying to improve at anything, because patience is key. Next, I want to talk about nutrition and protein. That is something that if you ignore, you will not see results. And you might be like, wow, is it really that big of a deal? Yes, it is. So if you are working, you could be hitting the most intense training sessions, but if you are just eating junk and not eating protein, you are not going to see results. And it's as simple as that. So I already mentioned whole foods. That's what I try to eat mostly. Honestly, because it makes me feel good. I realized the older I've gotten, it's so funny because when I was a kid, I would just be able to eat like, I don't know, all this junk and feel not bad about it at all. Like I almost never felt full to the point where I was uncomfortable. And when I would eat all the sugar and highly processed foods and stuff, I just wouldn't feel anything. But the older I've gotten, the more I've kind of realized, wow, this really doesn't make me feel good. And I want to eat food that makes me feel good. And Whole Foods is that. So just honestly, food that God just made as is. So meat, eggs, fruits, vegetables, complex carbs, so like rice, oatmeal, multigrains, all that kind of stuff, nuts. It's so good for you and it feels so good. And honestly, it can be so fun to get into recipes and like get creative with kind of how you prepare that stuff. Honestly, for me, I do kind of eat the same thing for breakfast every day just because it's my, what's the word for it, hyperfixation meal. And if I have that one thing that I eat every single morning, then it's not complicated. I get up and I make it and I don't have to think, what do I want to make? What do we have? It doesn't get complicated. It's just so great. And that is an egg, like a third a cup of egg whites, some turkey, some cheese, salt, and pepper. If we have spinach or broccoli, I'll throw that in there too. I don't know what just happened to my voice. It's starting to give out, I can already tell. Like I said, I am kind of getting over a cold. I think I said that in the last episode. And this is only a day later, so my voice is still a little bit dead from that. But hopefully it holds out till the end. Hopefully my battery does too. It's getting low. Okay, we'll try to speed things along. So yeah, prioritize nutrition if you want to see your goals reached and if you want to feel your best, honestly. And a good way to do that, I would say, is to ask yourself before you eat something, like, how is this going to make me feel? Because obviously it might taste good, but if you know it's going to make you feel rotten later, is it really worth it? It might be worth it sometimes. Like, I'm not saying it's like bad to eat any sugar or anything like that. I think there's time and a place, and I think that it's all about balance, and I definitely eat my fair share of that too. But just to kind of be mindful about everything that you're putting into your body so you can perform your best, so you can feel your best, so you can look your best. It's honestly, there's like no downside of it. But then again, I kind of already did touch on balance earlier in the episode and about how you don't want to let anything kind of control your life to the point of making it miserable. Like I said, know your why, and if it's not a sustainable reason, you're not going to have sustainable results. So if you're trying to eat super clean just that you can be like super thin or super lean, that's not the best reason for eating that way, and that's not a sustainable reason, like I said, and so those results won't be sustainable. Either you will wither away, which is not what anyone wants, or you'll end up overcompensating and just like giving into all your cravings. So listen to your body, and that's kind of something that everyone just needs to figure out on their own. Again, if you have any questions, you can always let me know, and I can, I don't know, see if I have anything additional to say. But that is something I want to look into more and study more. I want to kind of go into nutrition after high school, because that's something that I am super interested in. But that's what I would say. Eat your protein and you'll be good. I already talked about supplements, and then influencers versus reality. So something that I think can really mess up our perception of what a good, healthy lifestyle can look like is the fact that influencers, when they post their day in their lives, or even like what I eat in a day and all that kind of stuff, I don't think that's super healthy for us to compare our day in a life or our what we eat in a day to theirs, because a lot of those influencers, that's what they do for a living. And so they have all the time. I don't want to say all the time in the world. No one has all the time in the world. We all wish we had more time. But if they're a fitness influencer and that's what they do for a living, then of course they're going to have time to spend 2-3+ hours in the gym, and they're going to have all this PR that's being sent to them of like these, from these supplement brands, and they're going to have time to cook themselves like these super healthy, nutritious meals. Like, not everyone has a life that looks like that, and to where health and fitness can be that convenient, because it's really not. To be honest, health and fitness is not convenient. which is why it's something that you need to be conscious of, like, implementing into your life, because it's not just going to happen on accident. It's easier to just ignore it, but it's not easier in the long run, because if you take care of yourself, then in the long run you will have a healthier body that will last you longer, hopefully. So yeah, just don't compare yourselves to the influencers, because that is, I mean, we hear online all the time that what you see on social media is not reality. But it will never stop being true, because even like pictures that people post online, even the pictures I post online are like post pump, post workout. So all the blood is like in the muscles that look bigger, you know. That's the truth behind those pictures. They're edited, not my pictures, but a lot of pictures are edited, and it's certain lighting, and then certain makeup, and it's certain clothes and posing, and all these factors that play into why that photo looks so perfect. Because in reality, nobody looks perfect, and you could ask any person in the world. You could ask any of the Kardashians. I don't know. Everyone has that celebrity in mind, or that person in mind, that they're like, man, that person is beautiful. There is nothing wrong with that person. I wish I could look like them. But I guarantee that if you were to ask them, they would have plenty of insecurities. And so just to realize that that's not the reality. So don't compare yourselves ever. It will lead you nowhere. And yeah, like I said, I'm going back to my point about not feeling like you don't have time. You make time for what is most important to you. And I'm guilty of this, so I'm not judging you, I promise. But how often do we say that we don't have time to go to the gym? Or honestly, something I struggle with, I say I don't have time to read the Bible, or I don't have time to talk to God, or go on a prayer walk, or spend time with the Lord, or clean my room. But then I do spend way too long sitting on my bed scrolling on my phone on Instagram Reels or something. We do make time, honestly, for what's easiest and most convenient to us, and also what's most important to us. Like, if I were to say, oh, I don't have time to clean my room, and then I sat on my bed scrolling on my phone, that obviously shows me what my priorities, not even necessarily what my priorities are, but what's most important to me, which is not good. But then if my friend were to text me and say, hey, are you free right now? Do you want to grab coffee? Then I would probably get off my butt and go get coffee with them, you know, because I love that person and I care about them. And that shows me that person I care about way more than my phone. And I care about my phone more than I do about my room getting clean. So everybody, almost everybody, like, yes, I totally get that life can be busy. Certain seasons more than others. But I guarantee you that if you can, like, build a schedule, you will be able to make time for what's most important to you, and you'll be able to make time for working out. You'll be able to make time for spending time with the Lord. And honestly, what I would just say is the things that are most important to you, put those in the beginning of your daily schedule, because then it's out of the way. If it was at the end, then you might be tired at the end of the day. I mean, I guess it's different if you go to work early or you have to go to school early, but honestly, I know people, I've had to do this before, where you wake up super early. Maybe you wake up at 5:30, 6 a.m. so that you can read your Bible before you go to work, or you can go to the gym before you go to school. Honestly, you just have to make it work. You have to find a schedule that works best for you, even though it might not be as convenient as it is for those influencers who that's literally their job. And it's okay if not every workout is as good as the last one. Because you're still showing up for yourself, and that's the most important part, and you should be proud of yourself just for that. And lastly, I think this is the last thing I want to touch on, is that you should enjoy it. Find a form of exercise that you enjoy. There's so many different kinds. There's weightlifting, which is what I think most of us think of when we think of working out. And that's the kind I love. I love weightlifting. But there's also running. There's Pilates. There's workout classes. And if you can't do any of that and you don't like to, there's always walking. You can always go for a nice walk, inside or outside. So there's so many different types of and forms of movement that you can choose from. So find a kind that you like and find a way to enjoy it. If that means getting on a cute outfit and filling your water bottle with a fun drink, and that's the best way that you can enjoy your workout, then so be it, because whatever you're able to do to make it as fun for yourself as you can, because sometimes that's all it takes to get yourself out of the door, is to make it enjoyable and romanticize it. I sound like such a basic white girl when I say, oh, romanticize it. But it's true. I love romanticizing my life and just making the simplest little things cute and fun and aesthetic. So that's what I would say. Don't be afraid to try new things. I'll be honest, when I first got my gym membership, I was so afraid of more than half of my gym. The only parts of the gym that I would go to was the treadmills and the workout machines. Now mind you, we do have a pretty big gym, so I just kind of stuck to what I knew. But I would not go anywhere near the dumbbells or the barbells or the sauna. I still keep my distance from the sauna because I despise the sauna, but that's because I've already tried it and I know that it sucks and that I don't like it and that it doesn't work for me. And the benefits, if there even are any, which I know there's supposed to be benefits, but I feel like it might just be one of those things that has benefits, but benefits that you don't really ever notice. Like, another one of those things is, cold showers. I know I said that I love taking cold showers, and I do because I love how it feels, and it's a daily challenge that I can put myself to, and it's forcing myself to do something hard, but it's supposed to make your skin and hair all better, but I haven't really noticed that, and I've been doing it for months now. So I feel like the sauna is kind of one of those things. That is besides the point. My point is, what I was saying is that I was scared of all those things because I never tried them. Just try it. Try the new thing that you're afraid to do. And if you still don't like it, or if it still doesn't work for you, then that's fine. You don't have to keep doing it. You can keep looking until you find something that you like. Maybe you don't like any of those things, but you like swimming. There you go. Try swimming. But yeah, just try new things, because how else are you supposed to find the thing that works best for you if you are afraid to try anything besides the things that you already know how to do? And honestly, the reason why I was so afraid to go over by the dumbbells and the barbells and all that stuff is because that's where I saw the big scary gym bros. Guys, here's the other thing about I almost said Gymtimidation. No, not Gymtimidation. What's the word? Gymtimidation. Yes, gym intimidation. So Gymtimidation. I said I feel like we can get really scared, especially as little girls who are starting in the gym, and you walk in, you see all these gym bros. I promise you, they are not as scary as you were thinking. I'm related to one. He is not scary at all. I've talked to a few in the gym. They're honestly not scary. Just because they have big muscles does not mean that they're out to get you, or that they're gonna hurt you, or that they're gonna growl at you if you get in their way or if you talk to them. Okay, even if you'd even encounter someone like that, it's probably just a bad day for them. Or maybe that was just one person. But I promise you that not everyone is like that. And the people in the gym are not as scary as you're thinking they're gonna be. And honestly, that's something that I want to get better at in 2025, is making gym friends, because I've talked to some people at the gym before. But I want to have those gym friends. Okay, this is something that I don't understand. If you're a guy, I think there's comments on this podcast episode. Please comment down below, because I want to know this. How come y'all walk into the gym and every single guy you see, you just are like, what's up, bro? And you just know everyone. Where do you even know them from? How does this relationship start? How does it form? Where does it come from? Because I have never seen a girl do that. Well, I guess I have kind of. I've seen... Usually, if girls have friends in the gym, it's because they bring them, or they just happen to bump into them. But I feel like guys just make friends with everyone everywhere they go. But it's not even friends. They're just all of a sudden bros with everyone there. It doesn't make sense to me. It will never make sense to me. That's something I'm jealous of. But you know what? I'm glad to be a female. We get our cute pictures and our I'm just a girl excuse, and we get to dress up in cute outfits and make our cutesy little drinks and all the fun things. Use Pinterest. So I'm not complaining over here, but I'm just curious. So if you're a guy listening to this podcast, which, by the way, thank you if you are, because I think most of the people who listen to this podcast are girls, but if you are, comment down below, because I want to know. Tell me how that works. But that's all I have to say, really. Don't be afraid to try new things. So I hope you guys got some good information from this podcast, from the workout plan to the nutrition to the trying new things, and just hopefully this honestly just encouraged you to step outside your comfort zone, and it was the push that you needed as we go into 2025. I wish y'all the best of luck on your fitness journey, and it's so much fun. And if you ever have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. Like I said, my Instagram, you can DM me at my podcast, which is it's just by him for him podcast. That's where you can find me on Instagram, or you can find my fitness Instagram, which I already told you, Gracie Lifts. And yeah, so reach out with any questions. That's everything I have to say today. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, then it would mean so much to me if you left a review. I know on Spotify they have a little review thingy, review podcast. If you go to the top of a podcast, there will be an option for that. So if you guys enjoyed this, then leave me a rating, preferably a good one, and I would appreciate it so much. Or share it with a friend if you think that this could be encouraging and helpful for them, or honestly you just want a gym buddy. That's the other thing. Working out is so much more fun when you have a gym buddy. So grab yourself a gym buddy as we head into 2025. Send this podcast to them, and you guys can start on your journey together. But thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.